What are you getting done today, man?
So I want a skin drop fade.
A skin fade?
Yeah. With a hairline on the side, connected with the air rod.
You said like a line on the side?
On the side, connected with the air rod.
With the eyebrow, okay.
And in the back, the shape, I don't want it rounded. I want like kind of with a pig, you know.
You got a picture that you can show me?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay, so a line like that, and then you want it faded into like a V in the back. Okay.
Yeah, and in the top, as long as you can keep it by putting away the dyed hair.
You want to keep the dyed hair?
No, I don't want to keep it. I want to put it away. Like.
Oh, okay. So you want to cut it really short now? It's still gonna show.
You think?
Yeah, because if you look at the hair strand, it's you have to cut at least half of that off.
However you think looks good, man.
All right, cool. I would do a trim, but try to keep some of the color because right now, if you cut it too much, it's gonna be in an ugly stage where you're gonna have a whole bunch of dots everywhere. Okay. You know what I mean?
That's fine. That's fine.
All right.
YouTube, what's going on, guys? Listen, this cut is unique. It was hard to kind of understand exactly what he was looking for, but I think through continuing to ask him questions, we were able to figure out exactly what he wanted. So he wants a drop fade into a V in the back, and so I started off with the V as a reference point to what I'm fading into. And then our initial guideline is just going to be a drop into that V. And then from there, we'll just start our fade process. So the ball line, blade open, one open, and then two open. And then you can decide how you want to fade this out. Do you want to fade down? Do you want to fade up? But those guidelines are there to keep you organized and to keep it clean and to keep it balanced. The same way that you use guidelines on the top when you're cutting with shears, that's the idea of guidelines with doing a fade. There's nothing wrong with using guidelines, in my opinion, especially. I don't care if you're a pro. I mean, it just helps you be more efficient, you know, and make less mistakes and be more consistent. All right, so at this point, we have faded out the first two guidelines. And remember, we did a two open in this area. So we're gonna go with a one and a half guard all the way open to start blending out this section. Once we've done this, we've pretty much completed the fade, and then we just gotta detail. And usually I'll start my detailing with the one guard open just to kind of spread things out a bit in the middle where the blend, you know, makes the most gradients. But it's totally up to you how you decide to detail. And you can see right away I got my one guard, it's all the way open or halfway open, and I'm just trying to make sure there's a good transition and a nice gradients here. Again, I've never cut his hair. He's a soccer player. He's a college soccer player from Spain. So he watches the channel. Him and his I think his friend or teammate came through, and they watched the channel because they cut each other's hair in a dorm. You know what I mean? Like, I remember doing that when I was playing college basketball with my teammates. So it's interesting, and I guess they've grown a passion for it. They were excited to come hang out with your boy and learn some stuff and get a cut for YouTube. So his hairline was intimidating, so that's why I started with that C cup, just to see how it catches a line. But at this point, we're using blending shears just to blend in some of that bulk and take out a little bit of the lines that are created with the color in his hair. So on this side, we're gonna do the same thing, except we're gonna fade up, guys. So blade all the way open, and we're just gonna go ahead and start blending this section out. Starting with the clipper all the way closed and opening it up little by little until this section is completely blended and you see no lines. All right, now we're gonna go to the next section, which is the one guard all the way open. And then we're gonna slap that half guard on and start off about a little bit open, not all the way closed, and then open it little by little until this section is closed. So on the other side, we kind of blend it down. On this side, we're blending up. All right, once all that looks good, we'll go ahead and put that two guard all the way open, which is like our biggest guard pretty much. And then we'll go to that 1.5 guard all the way close, opening it little by little until this section is completely blended as well. Once we've done that, we can go ahead and start detailing and do some refining to get this blend, you know, as good as we could possibly get it. And just like the other side, I slapped that one guard back on to detail in the middle, spread the blend out some, and then you can, you know, go lower with guards like I just did here, or go higher, just depending on where you see some imperfections and you want to take out lines or dark spots. Once that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and put the C cup in on this side so I can put my art in a frame, and we just gonna keep detailing. So the blending shears I'm using again to remove some lines under that where the bulk area is, and you can see that I jumped up to that 3 guard because in this area it just looks like it needs to be spread out some, and then I'll hop back down to that 2 guard to spread it out even more because it just looks dark in the area I was just working at. Okay, and then I'm just making sure that the drop fade blends nicely into that V. And then like from this side, I feel like when you're looking at from the side view, it looks like a drop fade, but then when you look from behind, you see that V that it drops into. It's definitely a unique cut. You don't get these haircuts all the time, at least I don't. And then back here, I'm only using the blending shears because there was a line there created by the color, and you can see it's much more blended now when I use that blending shear, just to break it up a little bit, because obviously it was faded all the way around previously. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and create this line that he was looking to get that goes from the eyebrow and follows through into the side of his head. And I'm focusing on the top of the line, not the bottom of the line. We'll detail the bottom of the line after we have detailed and gotten the top of the line as good as possible. The reason why I focus on the top of the line first is because the hair is growing down. So you're gonna be able to control and catch a nice line on the top part of the line with the trimmers. Whereas if you go with the bottom line first, you can have a really messed up top of the line. It's much easier to detail the bottom of the line afterwards. And usually I won't even use the trimmer. I'll just go to that razor, pull the scalp, spread like so that I have more space to work with, and then widen it little by little. I don't want it to be too wide, but I don't want it to be too skinny either. And then in some parts you can make it wider than the other. So like as I get over to the point, I'm gonna go ahead and try to leave that thinner. But as we get over towards his hairline going to his eyebrow, I'm gonna try to make it slightly thicker, not too thick, because then it's not gonna really flow into the eyebrow unless I put a big chunk out of his eyebrow. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. All right, and now that we got that line in, I want to go ahead and detail the fade below the line and make sure it's nice and balanced. Shout out to my cousin Tito for the beat. Guys, if you need beats for your content or for your music, you can go to the link in the description below. And my cousin has a subscription service where he'll send you 5 new beats every month. All right, so now what I decided to do with the top, man, was just cut texture into it. So I'm angling my shears and I'm cutting some deep texture in, because right now it's in the stage where if you cut too much length off, it's just gonna look like there's a bunch of dots of color on the top of his head. Where if he waits a few more weeks, he'll be able to cut half of his hair and it'll still be the length that he wants, but all the color will be gone. And so I'm gonna go ahead and chunk it, like, you know, cut chunks of it out so that it looks like it was textured on purpose and the color isn't so all over the place. You are cutting some color out, but I feel like it's gonna look dope, especially once we style it. All right, with slice cutting some chunks out where you're cutting some color out, But again, the pieces that still have color aren't gonna be a whole bunch of little dots. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of clay in there. And now look as we start drying the hair, how cool the color looks. Thought it was in focus. I forgot. All right, so now we're gonna enhance the cut. Cause I got so excited about the Sean Cuts hair card because I just used the V that was already there to enhance it. So shout out to Sean Cuts Hair. You can get his cards on his website, SeanCutsHair.com, or go follow him on Instagram or YouTube. These cards are clutch. All right, and I'm bending the card here to create the shape, or to that the bottom line of the slash is, and then we'll go follow through and detail the line a bit more. But that thing looking smooth, in my opinion. And you guys know I like to follow up my fades with the shaver to get it as tight as possible at the bottom, make it pop even more. Doing it on both sides. Clean up the eyebrows, a little eyebrow work. Alright guys, now let's go ahead and use the Pure Powder by Tomb 45 to really get some volume and texture going. A little bit of this powder goes a long way. You can get it at tomb45.com or Amazon, and check it out guys. Look at the before, look at the before, look at the after. Sheesh. Oh yeah. Guys, listen, we drop content every single day. If you're new to the channel, please do hit the subscription. It really makes us YouTubers feel good when we see those numbers go up. So hit the subscribe button, smash the like button. Let me know what you thought about the cut, and I'll see you guys on the next video.